Oh, no. Oh, no.
All right, wait a minute.
Oh, hold
Our
on,
speakers
you're
are.
okay, just hit the X. It's not detecting something.
Oh, okay.
You're just fine.
Okay.
All right.
They heard us just a minute ago. We are recording.
We are, okay, very good. Great, welcome everybody to tonight's City of Tumwater Planning Commission meeting for Tuesday, February 10th, 2026 at 7 p.m. Let's get going. I'll call the roll. Commissioner Edwards?
Here.
Commissioner Kirkpatrick?
Here.
Commissioner Kotek?
Here.
Commissioner Nelson? Here. Commissioner Staff, our Vice Chair, is excused, and me, Commissioner Robbins. So we do have a quorum, so we can proceed. And first I'll ask, do we have any changes to our agenda tonight? Seeing none, let's move on. Next is approval of two sets of minutes, June 24 and last year and January 27th of this year. Revisions, questions, comments, motions?
Move approval of the minutes of June 24th, 2025, and January 27th, 2026.
I'll second.
Second? Great, double second, all right. It's been moved and seconded to approve both sets of minutes from June 24th, 2025, and from January 27th, 2026. Last call for any comments.
To clarify who made the second.
Oh, yes, okay, that was Commissioner Nelson, got in ahead of Commissioner Edwards, so. Doesn't matter to me. Doesn't really matter. Second. All right, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, motion carries. Both sets of minutes are approved. Thanks, everybody. Let's go to commissioners' reports. Anything you want to talk about? All right, let's move on to our deputy director's report. Sure.
Thank you, Commissioner. I sent you an email this afternoon that we are scheduling the Urban Forestry Study Tour on July 28th from 6 to 8 p.m. It will replace our regularly scheduled Planning Commission meeting, so we won't have any agenda items. We'll just be on a bus walking around the city looking at street tree issues, street root issues, and we will notice as a public meeting. It will be joint with the council and the tree board. I'll have an email that date, July 28th. That's all I have.
Let's go on to public comment. Do we have anybody online?
No attendees?
I read those names.
Yeah, no attendees and just commissioners, other commissioners online.
I'm assuming everybody here's presentation.
Yes.
All right, let's go on to item number 8, our 2026 Parks, Recreation, and Open Space Comprehensive Plan Amendments. That's going to be...
Parks would be?
Yeah, let's do it. All right.
Do you like to use the mouse yourself, or do you want me to click as you go?
I think it'd be more fun if you did it.
Okay, I'll share screen.
I'm going to go really fast. You guys.
Yeah. I just have to be able to read it. All right. Chuck Denny, Parks and Recreation Director. I don't come here very often, so it's great to see you guys. As you know, we're updating the Parks, Recreation, and Open Space Plan this year. So just a brief summary of what that's going to entail. We're working on a request for qualifications right now to solicit for consultants to help us do the plan. What we've typically done in the past, and this worked fairly well. So let's go slide 2. Similar to the plan we have, it'll start out with, where are we now? What do we currently have, in Tumwater in the way of, parks, facilities, programs, events, and the different, divisions within the department. What do we have? And what's new? Next slide. What's new since the last time we updated the plan? It's been sort of a sordid history with the Parks Plan. The first one was in 1987. We updated that in 2008. It was updated again in 2016. And then the last two budget cycles, funding to update it wasn't approved until this biennium that we're in now. So it's been sort of a start and stop, and we're in compliance with the state, and we're out of compliance because it's too old, and then we get back into compliance. We're in that phase right now. We're out of compliance with the state to be able to apply for grants, to buy land and build parks. So that's a real big driver here, is to get back into compliance so we can hopefully take advantage of some of that state funding. So let's stay with that one for a sec. So since the last time we did it, we've added Kindred Park. We have completed a master plan for the park at the former Trails End site. We've updated our master plan for the Southwest Neighborhood Park, which is behind Tumwater Middle School. And we expanded the Tumwater Hill Trail system by about 50%. So lots gone on in parks. In recreation, we've added hold on. We've added a number of community events. We've increased our volunteer program tremendously and have a staff person doing that now. And we have a new arts program, which we've never had in Tumwater before. We were successful in passing the Tumwater Metropolitan Park District vote. So the park district exists now when it did not when we did the last plan. And we made some changes in historical services. We've kind of gotten out of the historical services business just because of budget. So we're doing an evaluation of that. Okay. So after we've gone through the plan and decided what do we have and how much acreage, how many programs, how many people are we serving, what are we doing, then we'll go into our goals and objectives for where we want to go. And really that that's a need. So we know what we have, where are we going and what do we need? What does the community want? So that always involves some kind of community participation. We typically do a survey. We'll see what form that takes. It may be a paper survey. It may be an online survey. It may be a phone survey. We'll work with the consultant and see what works best. And there's a time element too, right, that we want to keep this moving forward. So we have a lot of survey data over the years, and they're typically very close each time we do one, but we need to check in and do that again. So those are the different divisions that the plan will be covering. It's administration, my side of the office, recreation division, parks is its own division, facilities is its own division, although not necessarily all part of Parks and Recreation. Some facilities is a bigger city function. The golf course, golf operations and maintenance, wildlife resources, open space and preservation of land, our trail system, and then what we're going to do with historical resources. Those are kind of the breakouts of the things of the plan. And I thought I'd just tell you, here's what was in the last plan we did, and these were all the goals of the things we wanted to do, and we didn't do most of them. Okay, so and what we thought they would cost back when we did the plan and what they cost today. So you can see the price is incredibly higher. And similar to, okay, one more. Recreation. Recreation has expanded and completed more things than we were able to do in parks, and mostly that's a monetary thing. But we've expanded a lot of programs. We've certainly expanded community events. We have continued to improve our senior program with senior services at Old Town Center and the activities that we're able to offer seniors. And we've really expanded community partnerships. We have our recreation manager focused on also being our sponsorship coordinator, and we get over $100,000 a year from local businesses to help support the things that we do. Administration, we were able to, since the last plan, able to pass the Metropolitan Park District, as I said. We have not increased staffing to maintain parks and programs. In fact, we're currently operating with less park staff than we had when we did the last plan. We're going to be seeking grant funding when we're compliant with state guidelines by updating the plan. And then we're continuing to develop marketing and promotions, and we're heavily into social media and marketing what we do in that way. So, you know, basically that's the big rundown is what do we have, what do we need, and how are we going to get there? So that's the basics of the plan. In addition to that, you know, we're going to analyze and update park impact fees. That's something that hasn't been looked at since 2008. So that's a fee that we need to take a serious look at raising, and then putting an annual inflator on that so that we don't have to go back and go through this process every time. Yes?
Who does that apply to, the park impact fee? Who pays that?
Housing developers. Yeah.
Does it only apply to housing, Chuck, or is
Yeah.
it also commercial?
No, just housing. We want to come up with a staffing model based on standards. This is also a big one for it hits parks the most. You know, as the city grows and we build new parks obviously take more maintenance, and we have built several new parks since we added a staff member to take care of them. And every time we go through the budget process to build a new park, I always have the caveat, this is going to take 1.5 FTEs or whatever it is based on the size of the park. And everybody's in agreement with that until it becomes budget time, and then, you know, that doesn't happen. And maintenance isn't a very sexy thing, but it's certainly a needed thing. So we're going to come up with something that we can point to statistically and say this much acreage. And, you know, that's no guarantee it will get funded, but at least that's something else for us to point to. We want to maximize our ability to solicit for grants, and that's something we used to do, and I'm kind of looking forward to getting back to that, selling what Tumwater has and what Tumwater needs and how we serve the community with new parks. And then we'll continue to work on our program of marketing and promotions and sponsorships. And that's all my slides for today. But if you have questions about the Parks Plan, I'd be happy to respond.
Will you be sure to include a swimming pool in the survey?
Yeah, you know, I'm a huge advocate of aquatics. And swimming pool has been at the top of every survey we've done since I came to Tumwater 100 years ago. And we continue to hammer that. When we did the Metropolitan Park District vote, we said we're going to build a community center, and we're going to have enough land next to the community center that we can build a pool there. I don't know if that will happen. We're also looking at partnering with Olympia, Lacey, and Thurston County on an aquatics facility. And there's legislation that is being put through right now to extend our ability to have a second public facilities district that would be specifically for aquatics and athletics. So we are having those discussions with the other cities in the county, and if that's something we might do in the future.
Collaboration.
Yeah, and, you know, like anything, you know, whether it's soccer or you know, aquatics or golf or whatever it is, everything's expensive. And as a community facility, it's really hard to charge enough money to even break even. So if we can collaborate with the other cities, that would be the best way to go.
I know I've mentioned that before, the collaboration thing, but also partnership, perhaps with the YMCA or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Somehow, since they're in the business of providing a lot of those kinds of
Right.
facilities, services.
Right. I have had discussions with the Y. They would love for us to give them all of our money and let them build a Y. That's a membership-based program, which is something that we don't necessarily agree with for the community. But there are options there. Yeah, we'll continue to talk to them.
I'll go online. Do Commissioners Kotek or Edwards, either of you got questions or comments you'd like to make?
I don't have any questions. I just cannot believe the inflation on that chart. It's insane.
I agree. I totally agree.
I mean, I know it's happening, but when I saw it, when I was reading over all the documents, I was like, oh my goodness.
No questions from me.
I have some money questions. I'm wondering, yay that the Parks District levy passed. Yay. Is that online, or is that revenue still yet to be coming into coffers?
It comes in annually.
Okay, so it's already trickling in.
Yes.
Alrighty, good deal. How much revenue would that generate? Is that anticipated to generate?
It's generating about $1.7 million a year. But when we put it to the voters, we put a very specific list on where it would be spent.
Yeah.
So we have a list of projects, and a dollar amount on each one, and there's not like extra money to take on new projects unless we take something off the list.
Right, and it can't be used for maintenance.
It can.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we currently have 2 maintenance employees that are funded by the Park District.
Okay, very good. Okay. I'm wondering kind of similarly for the park impact fees, is it a one-time shot with the developer?
Yes.
And so there's not like an ongoing kind of a thing that, except for through property tax of the then built properties.
So the house is built and sold, and it's part of
Right.
that.
Yeah. Okay. I do really like what you mentioned about pegging the rates to inflation, so you don't have to biennially have the battle to raise it, another few cents or whatever. So good luck with that. I think that's definitely the way to go. We can pull it off. Yes.
I think a compliment is in order for what the current parks look like. I'm proud of those parks.
Thank you.
I appreciate that. We have a fantastic staff. They truly believe and buy into what they do. They enjoy their work. So I'm very lucky. We're very lucky. Great group of people.
And the programs within the parks are really terrific too.
I agree.
Yeah. Good. Any other remarks? All right.
Okay.
Great.
Thank you.
Looking forward to more.
Oh, sorry.
Go ahead.
Will we receive, when will we receive an update? Let me ask that.
Whenever you would like. Let staff know, and I'm happy to come back.
Go back to the adoption process, at the end of the year, because we can only adopt comp plan changes once a year. If you want an interim, year.
Yeah, I'll be working with the Parks Board on drafting the survey and stuff like that, but if you want to see what the survey is going to say, or you want to see the results of the survey as soon as we get it back, or whenever.
I would be interested in that.
Yeah. Cool, thank you.
All right, thank you very much. Thank you.
Let's go to our next order of business, the 2026 Comprehensive Plan Amendment for Economic Development. Is that going to be Gene? All right,
Hey.
welcome. Glad you're here.
Thank you. Hi, friends. My name is Gene Angel. I'm the Economic Development Coordinator here for the City of Tumwater. This is my first Planning Commission meeting, so thank you very much for allowing me to come and talk to you about this. I really enjoy the economy, so this is a treat for me to have these conversations. Okay. So here's Team Economic Development for the City of Tumwater. It's headed by Kelly Adams, your Assistant City Administrator, and then myself, and we share an office, so that's a fun dynamic right there in itself. Lots of good economic development work happening there. Just by way of introduction, I come from, before this position, 8 years at the Thurston Economic Development Council, where I was the Director of Research and Evaluation. So I am, at my core, a data and analysis person. That's the lens that I see the world through, and it informs all of my decisions, I hope. That's the ideal. Next week is my 6-month anniversary here at the City of Tumwater, so I'm not new. Okay, here's broadly the major sections of the economic development element within the comprehensive plan. So we want to make sure that we are really grounded in reality by conducting the prerequisite analysis that allows us to understand the economy. The economy is a complex thing. It's a big thing with a lot of different lenses, and we want to make sure that we're on strong footing as we make a plan. Do we understand what we're talking about? We will understand what we're talking about. So we want to do a complete economic analysis, a fiscal analysis, and then a SWOT analysis, so strengths, opportunities, weaknesses, threats, right? Not in the right order there, but so we want to make sure that we have a strong analysis footing. There is a public engagement process. We'll talk about that a little bit as we go to. Goals, policies, and implementations, the big picture things we're actually trying to accomplish, the steps we're taking to accomplish them. We're not going to get into the weeds in those because we're keeping things at a high level today. Plus, we're still sort of in the process of figuring those things out. And then bringing it on home with the total economic development strategy, which is really a marriage of all of these. Okay, so analysis. And there's lots of ways to think about analysis. So when I think about economic analysis, I'm really thinking about these and a handful of other things. So demographic analysis. Who lives here? What are the characteristics of the population? Workforce and employment. What does the employment scene look like? What are the jobs that are in demand right now? What are the wages for those jobs? What are the growth sectors for employment? Important things to know. Similar on the industry side. What are the industry sectors that are succeeding here? What are the ones that maybe are not succeeding compared to the last time we had this plan? How has the economy changed? That's a prerequisite thing that we want to understand inside of the analysis piece. And then also supply chain analysis. So we have a lot of businesses here that purchase from other businesses. One economic development strategy that we can take is we can understand what types of products are they purchasing from outside of our local community? And can we have a targeted recruitment effort to capture some of that supply chain back here to the City of Tumwater? So to do that, we have to understand, well, what does the supply chain actually look like for the businesses that we have? So that's another framing of analysis. And then fiscal analysis. How is the city doing in terms of revenue? Looking at that from a perspective of, are our districts performing in the way that we expected them to? When we set out the sub-area plans, how did that go? And then creating a heat map of revenue. What are, in terms of districts, our true revenue drivers? Where does that come from, and how does the planning process inform that? And I put this really big at the bottom because this is how I feel about all data analysis. It has to be digestible and in a narrative format. If you're looking at a data product and you say, well, so what? Then we didn't do our job. So when we look at analysis, we're going to make sure that there is a clear narrative story. The data tells us, it informs us about something that we care about. So let's bring that story out. This is our outreach plan here. So we have a handful of partners that are going to help us with this process. So the primary partner is the Thurston Economic Development Council, where we will host a series of roundtables to speak with businesses in water. Hopefully we'll have an opportunity to also produce some type of outreach strategy with the Tumwater Chamber of Commerce. What that looks like exactly, we're still in process of understanding that. It could be, think about solicitation, presentations, survey mechanisms, and then look, the economic development strategy has to be part of an equity strategy. It is the economy and people's earned income is the primary way by which they thrive in a community, have expendable goods, to have expendable purchases, right? So we want to make sure that the economy is working for the broadest cross-section of people available. It really is an equity strategy. So we want to make sure that we have a significant amount of outreach with our equity commission as well. Okay, and this is our economic development strategy. It's a marriage of all of these things. So we can't write a strategy if we don't understand the data. We have to do the analysis. We can't write a strategy if we haven't done an outreach strategy to get that critical feedback from other stakeholders. We can't have a strategy unless we understand, well, okay, well, what are our goals and council's priorities? Making sure that we understand all of these things gets us to a strategy and it gets us to an implementation plan. So that's how we tackled that. Process timeline. So first draft here, I really, my fingers are crossed to have our first draft here done by the end of March. And the next quarter, we'll have our public outreach strategy. The quarter after that, it gets submitted to Commerce and SEPA review. And in the last quarter, we'll come back for council adoption. And then obviously, similar to what Chuck had said, I'm always available here to talk you through that process and to give you updates. As your curiosity triggers inside of you, I would encourage you to reach out to me and let's have that conversation. Okay, hey, we did it. Any questions? I'm happy to answer.
Go ahead, Commissioner Nelson and then Commissioner Kirkpatrick. So my background is in education, in school districts, the ESD, the colleges, and they do a lot of community assessments as well. Well, and they're a big part of the economic development in a community this size. Will there be outreach to those entities, do you think?
I think that makes a lot of sense to do that. And as we think about that workforce piece, I actually got my start in economic development doing an economic impact of the Evergreen State College. So I learned from that research project firsthand how intensely a contributor our educational institutions are to the economy. It would be a mistake not to have them as part of that process. And certainly we will tease that out inside of that workforce analysis section to demonstrate how important they are too.
I mean, Tumwater School District works hard to be able to project ahead student enrollment and families moving in and out, and that's all part of our economic development as well.
Thank you for that.
You're welcome. Mr. Kirkpatrick.
We spent the last year on the comprehensive plan, minus economic development, and it shows. The focus of the current plan is on housing, on getting thousands of new residents into the city and how we're going to take care of them, with little or no thought about where they're going to work. And really, if you look at the comp plan right now, we're looking at building a bedroom community over the next 20 years. So, and that's because we haven't had any input on the economic development side. So I think this year is going to be very important in getting that together so that we not only offer apartments and houses to new residents, but we offer them an opportunity to have a community that they live in and work in. Just simply saying that. But right now we don't have it. We've got a plan that says, okay, so jobs are going to be somewhere else. You're going to drive to Tacoma or something like that, but you're going to live in a nice place. That's great. But we want something more than that.
Thank you.
I'll go online to Commissioner Edwards or Commissioner Kotek. Do either of you have questions or comments?
I don't have anything. Thank you.
Nothing from me. Thank you.
I'll jump in and say I really like your approach, starting with some basics about who are we likely to be demographically and, kind of socially, if you will. I think that's a great approach. And I think that it is going to be really important to tell that story so that Tumwater as a government entity knows what to invest in, how to use its resources well. I think back to kind of economics 101 or something where kind of government has two main roles with the economy. First is its purchasing power with contracts or supplies or what have you that may help spur some markets, but far more important is creating those conditions where people in business can thrive. So
I hope you're going to find out through the outreach or through some of the other analyses you're doing, what do people need for the city to help them thrive? Yeah, we focused a lot on housing. What would be attractive to people who either want to work here or retire here? I think a lot of our demographic is no longer working or seeking, you know, a lot of work, like, you know, 40 or more hours a week. But, you know, it'd be interesting to see. But, you know, what is it that folks really, really want? And be able to really communicate what the city is going to be able to do to create that environment. So yay, it's going to be great. We've long been clamoring as our little volunteer body. You know, we want to hear from the economic development people. So yay, you're here, hurrah!
Thank you for that.
Anybody else? Great, thank you. Thanks for the presentation. We will welcome you back. Thank you. All right, let's move on then to item number 10, which is a little review, maybe a little discussion of our Planning Commission rules of procedure. I think we were last updated in something like 2020 or 21 maybe. Pretty 2020. So yeah. It's been a little while, not that they're out of date necessarily, but
just a quick refresher, we'll just go really quickly through. We'll go really quickly through. It's not going to be as exciting as the park economic plan, but
we want to understand how we operate.
Yeah. Anybody's not familiar with them?
Yeah.
Okay. Hopefully you can see our screen. Commissioners, got that and everything.
The save button in the tools.
I can see it.
Okay, super.
Okay. I won't read the whole thing, we'll just go. This is, the first page is just outlining our meeting schedule and special meetings. I won't read that. Page 2 is election of officers, which we just held to get our chair and vice chair. And then section D, the roles and duties of chair and vice chair. Section 3E, that's about the quorum. And we didn't find anywhere, I don't see where it says we have to have a quorum to have a meeting, but maybe it's in our code, but anyway, the quorum is needed to vote and take action. And then if we have absence of members, so attendance is required, a minimum of 75% of all meetings and workshops required to maintain membership. Excused absences are not counted towards that. We are filling the vacancy right now. We have interviews scheduled for the end of the month, the vacancy. On 3H, it's about conflicts of interest. So when you are taking action, if you have a conflict of interest or the perception of conflict of interest, you can abstain from voting. Maybe if you know, it's property related to you or some interest or stake in a property, then you would abstain. And then page 4I is about the appearance of fairness. So again, to excuse yourself from a vote or leave the room if you have sort of perception of conflict of interest. On J, it's about compensation, which we don't currently offer at the city. K is the order of business, which regulates our agenda, which we're pretty familiar with. We'll go through that. L is for recording these meetings and taking meeting minutes. And then M is that if you have any rules or procedures that you want to amend, we can do that at any planning commission meeting. Pretty standard rules of procedures. I just want to go through them really quickly just to have them top of mind as we work through the year.
Thank you. Does anybody have any questions about it?
Well, it does say on that first page that our meeting place is City Hall. So maybe just to correct that, it's under B, meetings, item number 3.
Meetings, item number 3?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, do you want to, do we need to take a motion?
You know, we may, if we're going to amend it, we probably do need to take action on that.
Okay.
And so good catch on that. Maybe we could say something like city facilities or field trips as called upon, so that we're square with that. But it seems like if we are amending that, we do need to act. And I don't know if we need to do we can do that right now,
I mean, it's
or.
technically City Hall.
I mean, this is City Hall campus, I guess. I don't know if that counts.
Yeah, and then we do advertise on our webpage where it's located in our hearing notices.
Yeah. I mean, the whole address of the whole campus is the same. So this,
No, it's different.
okay,
Okay,
so,
then maybe we do need fire
so
station.
we might need to say that, or maybe a
Say
more
or.
generic.
Yeah.
Because we do, not of late, but we have had meetings over at actual City Hall chambers.
We would notice that.
Right, I know, but for purposes of the rules of procedure, maybe a more generic phrasing would be city facilities primarily at 555
Let me
Tumwater.
inquire before we make a motion, because we can make a motion in the next. Let me
Yeah.
inquire if that's general enough, covering this, or if we have to.
Right, okay.
And then we can always bring this back.
Yeah, or as noticed in the, whatever,
Yeah.
that kind of language.
Okay, I'll clarify, and then we can bring this back.
And then Sharon, you brought up the fact that it doesn't actually say you have to have a quorum to conduct a meeting. So many policies and procedures would have that statement in there. Do you want to write a paragraph that says quorum is required to make decisions? Something like that?
Well, it says that it's specified in Tumwater Code,
Okay.
in the language of this section. I don't know
what the
I can't
code is.
recite that off the top of my head, but,
I think that's how it's currently interpreted, that a quorum is needed to even meet. We can't even meet unless there's a quorum.
well, any action taken by the majority when those present constitute a quorum. So I don't know that necessarily says we can't meet, but if we're gonna take an action, we have to have a quorum.
Yeah, I think the city's attorney has interpreted it.
Oh, so if he covered.
Yeah, that we have to have a quorum to meet. I think that's,
Okay,
good.
that's what I.
all right. That's not what I read here, but it would
I
be
know.
good to have, the actual code language in front of us,
Okay,
right?
Since we're revising it, I just wanted to.
yeah, no,
Right.
thank you.
Right.
Oh.
And, if this is, pretty much verbatim out of the code, then, that's fine.
Yeah, let's look at the code really quick.
Got it real fast.
GMP 2.56.
440?
Well, I think Roger's rules pretty well requires a quorum.
To have a meeting,
Pretty much.
to even meet.
If you look at Roger's rules, a quorum is required.
Okay,
In order to make a decision, and if we're going to review work the staff has done and recommend to the city council, that they accept it, that's a decision-making process.
Right, that would be an action
Yeah.
taken.
We do
So-
have briefings where staff are just briefing, there's no action required.
Right.
but currently we have to have a quorum even for that, even just to have like a meeting, like today. No
Yeah.
action.
Well, I guess I would say that the language as it's written here does not say, we can't walk in the room without a quorum. So I would
We can get some clarity.
push back on that.
Okay,
Unless it says something here in code,
Well, the city attorney.
so it's, make it really big because I can't read that from here.
Well, and we'll get clarification.
We'll get clarification on that, but yeah, those two sections.
Okay.
Any other things that people want to draw attention to? Basic.
Do some more research and bring those two back to you.
Okay, yeah, maybe have that language right along. It doesn't have to appear in the rule of procedure, but when we're discussing it next, maybe we can have that beside us or in front of us.
But item B6 covers Robert's rules, and essentially, I think that.
Right, it's, when the default,
Regardless of what the city ordinance says,
Right.
unless it specifically
Right.
says we are not required to have a quorum, I would say that Robert's rules would say that we should be required to have.
that's great. Except we do specify, so, yeah.
Thank you.
All right. All right, a little bit of procedural work ahead of us, but, all right.
yeah. Let's see, any other discussion on that? I don't know. Close this off. Okay,
So we're gonna defer that and look at that again, or what?
right, right, yeah. We'll come back with, some actual language of the code, in the code, and then some suggested language for, how to say our location in some fashion or other. And then we'll need a quorum to take action. So, anyway. Let's see, our next meeting is gonna be on the 24th. Any preview on what we're gonna take up there besides our
We are going to have a housekeeping code update. It's a briefing on the housekeeping code. Codes that need to, every year we're allowed to update our code.
Okay, briefing only,
The briefing, yeah.
okay.
That'll be a work session and a hearing.
All on the 24th?
No.
Yeah, okay.
It's just,
As a succession, yeah. Got it, okay. And then if we're ready, our procedures. Okay.
you know, if anybody's gonna be.
Any anticipated absences, you know, of right now? Okay. So far, so good. Okay. Well. Swift. Seeing as how we have concluded our business tonight, and it is 7:41, our meeting is adjourned.
Thank you.
All right.
We'll get clarity and then bring those back.